Have you ever felt a sudden, undeniable call to do something completely different with your life? A moment so clear that it changes your entire path. Today, we're diving into the incredible story of a man who experienced just that. His name was Elisha, and his journey from a simple farmer to one of the most powerful prophets in history is nothing short of breathtaking. Our story begins in the ancient land of Israel, a place brimming with faith, conflict, and divine encounters. At this time, the great prophet Elijah was nearing the end of his ministry. He had been a mighty voice for God, confronting kings and challenging false idols. But God had a plan for a successor, someone to carry the torch and continue his work. That person was Elisha. Unlike many prophets who came from priestly lines or scholarly backgrounds, Elisha was a man of the earth. We first meet him in his family's field, and he's not just supervising, he's hard at work, plowing with 12 yoke of oxen. This tells us a lot about him. First, his family was well off. 12 yoke of oxen was a sign of considerable wealth. Second, Elisha was not afraid of hard work. He was personally guiding the 12th yoke, right in the thick of it. He was a man of action, grounded and dedicated. It's in this very ordinary, hard-working moment that the extraordinary happens. The prophet Elijah approaches. There's no grand announcement, no booming voice from the heavens. Instead, Elijah simply walks up to Elisha, takes off his own cloak, a symbol of his prophetic authority, and anointing, and throws it over Elisha's shoulders. Imagine that. 1 minute you're focused on keeping your plow line straight. The next, the most famous prophet in the land has just designated you as his successor. What would you do? Hesitate, ask a million questions. Elisha's reaction is what makes this story so powerful. He understood the significance of the gesture immediately. The weight of that cloak was the weight of a divine calling. He didn't delay. He ran after Elijah and said, "Let me kiss my father and mother goodbye, and then I will come with you." This wasn't a request to reconsider or a plea for more time. It was a request to honor his family before dedicating his life entirely to a new purpose. It showed his respect and love for his parents, but also his resolute decision. Elijah's response is interesting. He says, "Go back. What have I done to you?" This might sound like a dismissal, but it was actually a test. Elijah was asking, "Do you truly understand what this means? Are you ready for this commitment?" He was giving Elisha an opportunity to back out, to make sure his choice was his own. Elisha's actions spoke louder than any words could. He went back, but not to his old life. He took his yoke of oxen, the very symbols of his wealth and former identity, and he slaughtered them. He used the wood from his plowing equipment to build a fire and cooked the meat, sharing it with his people in a farewell feast. This was a radical act of surrender. He was burning his bridges, literally, by destroying his tools and sacrificing his valuable animals. Elisha was making a powerful statement. There was no turning back. His past life was over. He was severing all ties to his old identity and security to fully embrace the call of God. He was all in. From that moment on, Elisha left everything behind. He set out and followed Elijah, becoming his student, his assistant, and his heir. He went from being a master of his own fields to a servant of the prophet, learning, watching, and preparing for the incredible ministry that lay ahead of him. This initial act of faith, leaving the plow to follow the prophet, was the foundation for all the amazing miracles and powerful prophecies that would come to define his life. The story of Elisha's calling teaches us something profound about faith. Sometimes a divine calling isn't a gentle whisper. It's a cloak thrown over your shoulders in the middle of a workday. It demands a response, a decision. Elisha's story shows us the power of an immediate, wholehearted yes. He didn't just accept the call, he celebrated the end of his old life and joyfully stepped into the new one God had planned for him. His journey from the field was just the beginning. The path ahead was filled with challenges, wonders, and moments that would test his faith to its limits. He would go on to perform twice as many miracles as his mentor, Elijah, impacting kings, commoners, and the very course of Israel's history. He would purify poisoned waters, multiply a widow's oil, raise a boy from the dead, and stand as a beacon of God's power in a troubled land. But all of that started here, in a dusty field, with a simple farmer who was willing to leave everything he knew to follow an unexpected call. It's a powerful reminder that God often chooses the most unlikely people from the most ordinary places to do the most extraordinary things. The only requirement is a willing heart, ready to let go of the plow and take up the cloak. What is the plow in your life that might be holding you back from your own calling? Elisha's story encourages us to be open to the unexpected and to have the courage to act when that moment of calling arrives. His life demonstrates that true greatness isn't found in what we own or the work we do, but in our obedience and surrender to a purpose far greater than ourselves. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the life of Elisha. His story is filled with so many more incredible events, and we've only just scratched the surface. If you enjoyed this and want to hear more amazing stories of faith and courage, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us bring more content like this to you. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.